Hi, friends. It's Michelle with National Veteran Resources, and today I have my dear friend Mark with me. And Mark and I have been friends for years and years and years. We're just outside of Rochester, New York,
Mm-hmm.
and we've been involved in a lot of different things. And a few years back, I interviewed you. It's been a while. How many years? 2 or 3 years now.
It's got to be, yeah, close to three. That was your that was your original.
My Hero Mobile 1. Now we're in number 4.
Yeah.
And so um, Mark had quite a story to tell, and we were talking about what we could actually talk about today. And Mark has a really cool story and a great message of what he's done for his post-traumatic stress, and how this particular thing he's going to talk about has helped him. So, Mark, I thank you so much for being here.
You're
You got a
welcome.
great shirt on.
Yeah.
My tours are called Operation 22 to 0. My nonprofit is National Veteran Resources, so sometimes people don't understand that. I just
Yeah.
name the tours that, and that's what our t-shirts are. So, Mark, if most of our audience doesn't know your story, so if you want to take a few moments and share your story, and then talk about what it's been like since then and reconnecting. We're going to be talking about reconnecting with your friends that you served with today.
Well, you can do that.
Okay.
So I started my Air Force career. I signed up delayed enlistment. I actually swore in on September 11th, 1980. And July 7th of 1981, I left for San Antonio, Texas, to Lackland Air Force Base for basic training. So it's been 40 years.
40 years.
And
Wow.
after that, I went out to Denver to Lowry Air Force Base for my food service training. From there, I was being sent to a place called Buchel Air Base in Germany, which was actually the German Air Force training base. It was a munition site. We only had like 150 Americans on the base. We were there because basically our nukes were on the German Air Force planes. So it was mostly security, police, maintenance guys, and a few admin guys and us cooks. I had experience before I even went in the service. I fought for my food service job in the Air Force. I took food service in high school. I was working as a cook before I even graduated high school. So that's what I wanted. That was going to be my career. I fought to keep my food service job when my ASVAD tests were so good that the recruiters in Buffalo kept offering me jobs with medical field and this, that, everything else, and they kept arguing with me. They didn't want me to take a food service. They wanted me doing something else, which is kind of funny because all my life I wanted to be a doctor.
Oh, is that
Up
right?
until I started food service in high school. So my parents didn't understand it. The recruiters didn't understand it. It might have been a better career, but it's not what I wanted. I fought for a food service job. And the crazy part is after I finished my food service training, I left for Germany on December 7th. So I have basically the two most infamous days in American history in my military service. It's kind of weird celebrating those days now, especially September 11th. But when I got to Germany, it was completely different world. My supervisor picked me up, and we had a 2-hour ride to the base that I was stationed at. And he asked me if I was hungry, go to McDonald's, and it was kind of crazy because I walked in and ordered a Big Mac, fries, and a beer.
Oh, wow.
So
You didn't tell me that. That's pretty
yeah,
neat.
you could buy beer in a candy shop
Mm.
in Germany. Okay, it was beer everywhere. But it was a couple days before Easter. I had a major head-on collision on my way to the base. Basically, to make a long story short, the German driving the other car died. The Germans blamed me. They gave it to the Air Force, saying they would have to court-martial me. If I was found guilty, I was facing 7 years in prison. Since I was already in the Air Force, I would have had to make up that time. I would have gotten out of the German prison and basically gone to Leavenworth for another 7 years.
Wow.
So I was facing basically 14 years of prison. My Air Force lawyer basically saved my life. The last day of court, we were all done, ready to have the jury go out and deliberate, and all of a sudden something popped in her head and she was able to prove my innocence. And she literally saved my life. After that, she had requested that I be transferred from the base just to get away from everything and not have to deal with the memories of it, because I went through a lot. It was 6 months of basically hell. And I started drinking, and I was just, everything looked like I was going to prison. So it was like, what do you got to look forward to? And I ended up staying there for the 2 years. Right before I was supposed to leave, my supervisor, who basically didn't like me, and through the years with people I'll talk about in a minute, reconnecting with friends on Facebook, basically everybody felt they didn't like him either, even though he didn't like me, and he ended up forcing me out. I just, it would have been my career. I was accepted to go back to Lowry Air Force Base to be a food service instructor, and he had that denied, and then he ended up getting me discharged. So it wasn't fun. Gone through a lot since I got out. I got out in end of November of '83. Took me 26 years to finally start getting help for the PTSD and getting disability. And I've done a lot of fighting on my own, because a lot of the service reps won't help me, because my case is so much different than most others.
Right.
Where I'm trying to fight for the 26 years of back pay that they should have paid me and they never did. It's just, I've learned a lot. And what I wanted to talk about today, Michelle was talking about, was reconnecting with people I served with because of Facebook. Facebook gets a lot of negative things about it, but there's definitely some positive things, and one of the biggest positive things in my life lately has been reconnecting with people I served with, or that served at the base either before me or after me, that I've gotten to know through Facebook or whatever, and just the support I get from them, encouragement, and reinforcing that it's not just in my head that I got screwed over, because for years I thought I was nuts. How could I have gotten kicked out? Why did I get kicked out?
Yeah. Where were all these guys at the time? Were they there to support you?
Most of the friends that I have on Facebook now from the base were people I actually did serve with, and they all remember the accident. They all remember everything I went through.
Did they offer you support? I was just wondering how it was with
Oh,
them.
I had, yeah.
I
definitely, and
they were all behind you.
The nice thing with Facebook, because of that, there was a bunch of, we lived there. So we had a bunch of German friends, mostly women, that would hang around and whatever else. And we've actually got quite a few of the German people that are on the Facebook also. And believe it or not, even they were supportive of me while I was going through this court martial.
Wow.
The last day of court, I had more German friends than I had Air Force guys there.
Is that right?
In the courtroom.
Wow.
Yeah. And I stayed in touch with a lot of them through the years, and then just lost touch or whatever. I would call on holidays and stuff over there, and it was nice, and it's been so nice to reconnect and have all that support again.
So what I wanted to touch base because I'm trying to reach so many veterans, and I use Facebook as a tool. And a lot of them tell me that they're not on Facebook. They don't even do social media, which I can understand that. But in your case, and what Mark was telling me, is that reconnecting with his friends has been really helpful and has uplifted you, right?
Definitely. It's, I look at it as, everybody hears we're all brothers and sisters. We all got each other's backs.
Right.
How many of us actually do that? How many of us actually rely on them? Your big thing is you're not alone. But how many of us actually feel we are alone? Because we don't reach out.
Preach it, Mark.
It took me a long time to reach out. And when I did, I still got a lot of flack from my counselor at the VA, who was not at the time treating me for PTSD, because nobody ever gave me the actual diagnosis for 26 years. My mother, my wife, my son, they were all worried about me reconnecting and having all those things being brought back.
Right.
And when I made a decision, it was five or 6 years ago, we went down to Branson, Missouri for a reunion with people from Germany. And at that time, I had been going through PTSD counseling for a while, and I talked a lot about it with my counselor, and she agreed that it was probably a good idea for me to go down and reconnect with these people, because they had, there was quite a few of them that had reached out and said, hey, you got screwed over, you're one of the best cooks we ever had, you're always fun, nobody liked the supervisor that got me kicked out, and so it made a difference. And since I went down to that reunion 5 years ago, it has made a world of difference. I stay in touch more often. And there's a couple of us that have political disagreements, but
that's gonna
it's.
But you would say go to the reunions.
Yes, definitely. It's just, it's hard to reach out.
Tell them. Did I reach out to you, or did you reach out to me? We've known each other for so long.
Actually, we started really becoming friends when you reached out to me to go to one of the Patriot Guard Rider events.
So, I lived in Rochester.
Yeah.
I became a Patriot Guard rider, and I'm so honored. I had my Harley, and somehow I had heard about you or met you. I'm not really sure, but I asked you to come to one of the missions with the Patriot
Actually,
Guard
we were
riders.
joking around. It was we talked about this the last one, when it was Dave Lippa that actually introduced us because of Facebook or whatever else.
Yeah,
but
we go
it
back
actually
so far.
started because I joked around with you one time about your last name being Ladd, because I have been in love with Cheryl Ladd my whole life.
And everybody calls me Cheryl Ladd. They just can't seem to get it right here.
Yeah. And even my wife was joking around about that, because she knows that if Cheryl Ladd ever came to my door and said, come on, let's go, I'm gone.
Tracy.
So, yeah. And then you had reached out to me to go. It was when Wes Webster had the Christmas Eve disaster shooting. Yeah.
And then we had some troops coming back from deployment.
Yeah.
And Alexa, this is actually Mark that came with me. We had a big sign that said "Welcome Home," and I invited Mark and a few of my team members to come. And so we've been involved in a lot of things, and something very special coming up that you're going to be involved in, but we're not going to say what it is right now.
Couple
But
things.
yeah, we have a couple. Oh, well, let's talk real quick. So, for those of you in the Rochester, New York area, on August 8th, Mark has gifted us at Braided Acres. We're doing a big event, and it's a PTSD awareness, suicide prevention. We're trying to raise awareness. It's going to be a big fundraiser for National Veteran Resources. And Mark is the most amazing DJ, and he has gifted his time to us. So come on out to Braided Acres August 8th. It's a pig roast. And, you'll be seeing lots more about it on my Facebook page. But so your word out there to our veterans is to get on Facebook, stay on Facebook, reconnect, go to the reunions. I know a lot of the guys tell me they don't want to because they don't want to relive it. They want to be off social media. It's working for you. Whatever works for you guys, but it's working for you.
Yeah, I'm a recovering drug addict and alcoholic, and part of the 12-step things is you work the program that works for you.
Yeah. And it's working for you.
Same thing for PTSD. I used to get yelled at because I'm a DJ and I used to do karaoke around Rochester, work in bars. I'm around weddings all the time. I'm around alcohol constantly.
Yeah.
To me, it's rehabilitating. I look at the guys and I go, is that what I used to look like, act like, talk like, walk like, smell like?
Is that right?
Why do I want to go back there? And I do the same thing in everyday life. With my friends from Büchel in Germany, which right now we're praying for everybody over there because the floods over there are in the area we lived in.
Oh, is that right?
And it's bad. We've seen that town get flooded a few times, but not like the last couple of days. There's major disasters.
So
in Europe
everybody
right
pray for Büchel
Büchel, yeah.
in Germany.
It was actually the town of Kokum is where we all hung out. It was on the Mosel River.
Kokum.
Yeah.
Okay, so I just want to end this by saying that your friendship has been amazing.
Yours has been a blessing.
He's helped me out a lot, but we've known each other for years and years, and he has inspired me. He's encouraged me to stay on the road, keep doing what I'm doing, and I try to reach out to you. I'd like to reach out to you more just to let you know you are not alone, and I'm always here for you. You have my private cell phone number. I give everybody my cell phone number, but I never want you to give up hope or faith, and that's my message. And you have been helping me spread that message as well, and that they're not alone. So I appreciate you so much.
We all appreciate you too.
Aw. Well, we've gone into 18 minutes, so we're going to say goodbye. Thank you, Mark.
You're welcome.
God
Thank
bless.
you.